For today's Cyber CEO episode,
I wish we would have had Cyberbacker in place back then because we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to exist virtually. And we came out of the pandemic really well, but man, it probably would have been even that much better had we had the experience level of doing it before instead of trying to create it ourselves. Financially, it's been a great benefit, not having to add other people, systems, and tools because the Cyberbackers kind of filled in for all three. We don't have all the tools we would have to have. The systems have been improved and don't have to have as many people physically. So for me, that's been the big thing because I do look on the return on investment on everything that we do.
We've given him the title of podcast producer for our podcast, and he sets up all of our appointments. So he's really become our marketing / producer for the Temple team. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do the role that I'm commissioned to do. On any given day, I work with 7 cyberbackers, and Jonah and Jeff are my 2 that I work with the most. But the entire team, I can't tell you guys how incredibly grateful I am for all your diligent work. You guys make us look so lazy sometimes, and I'm super thankful to have you guys in our lives.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another great day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have very special guests on the show. Kent, KT, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, we're very excited to have you guys on the show. Of course, talk about virtual leverage and, of course, Cyberbacker. But before we do that, I just need your guys' help here. Can you tell us something about what you do and how long have you been with Cyberbacker?
So we've been with Cyberbacker for a little less than a year now. We started off with having our own Cyberbacker, and then we liked it so much we bought into the franchise.
You're franchise owners. How about you, Ken? How long have you been in the business? What do you do?
So yeah, I've been in the real estate business for a long time, and have always had leverage. I'm kind of the king of leverage. In fact, I travel around the country and I talk to realtors about leverage. And it's funny, I just never thought that I'd be the one to have virtual leverage until KT brought it to the table for us.
Okay. So basically, both of you then, first time, virtual leverage. Is that right?
I've had it before when I was part of leadership with Keller Williams Market Centers, and we used it for recruiting for our own personal team. This is our first time using it at a team level.
Okay, so first time. How about you, Ken? Was it a big transition for you? Now, again, you talked about leverage, all that. Now, having experienced virtual leverage, how's it going so far?
Well, the funny thing is that I'm so leveraged that I don't work directly with it. The reason I'm on here is, but I'm the one that follows the numbers because I'm going to make sure that we're getting a return on investment that we have to do it. So my part, KT's is the front guy in terms of dealing, with our cyberbackers. I'm the guy that's following the results and making sure it's working.
Okay. So now, quite curious, what were your first thoughts about virtual leverage in the first place? Not just with Cyberbacker, but virtual leverage in general.
If you're talking to me, my first thought was no.
And just to clarify for him, anything with the word virtual. His first instinct is no.
So if you go through it, if you look at a disc profile, if you know what the disc is, and people have different personality types, I'm what is referred to as a high I. I'm the person that likes people. Jello, if I could get there, I'd hug you right now. That's who I am. So the virtual part is not my favorite. The other KT has pulled me kicking and screaming. We do our own podcast now, but he had to pull me into that kicking and screaming because that's another time that I got to get on the screen like this. I don't have people around me. So yeah, my first response would have been absolutely not.
Okay, wasn't really a big fan, but now working with people who are virtual. Then how about Cyberbacker? How did you first find out about Cyberbacker first place?
On my screen, the guy at the bottom, So I'll let him tell about it.
Yeah, so we like I said, we both he's currently in leadership. I've been in a bunch of different leadership roles, and Cyberbacker always came up as a sponsor for our events. And that's how I came across them the first time. And when we couldn't figure out at a market center how to hire an in-person inside salesperson, we thought we'd try Cyberbacker, and at a market center level for recruiting, it worked out great. And so when we got to the team and we wanted to run Facebook ads, we wanted to have somebody to call Facebook ads, it was kind of a no-brainer to say, well, let's just do the same thing we did for our market centers and duplicate that and replicate it for our team.
There we go. So now,
and for me, I want to be clear that I'm not against virtual for everyone. It was a personal thing for me. So people run their businesses differently. And I've just learned now that there's really 3 different ways you can run a business in terms of the leverage you create from like an administrative point. And it can be where you don't have anybody virtual. It can be where you go all virtual. I think I've found a sweet spot where it's a combination of both. I've got people here and I've got people virtually that'll do it. I would never be the one to go all virtual. I'll never be without virtual now that I know what it can do for me.
So really a good mix right there. Then people who are virtual, people who are in the office, things like that. But of course, being part of a franchise, Kent, KT, talk to our listeners here. Why is virtual leverage important in any business nowadays?
Well, because everything is virtual. I run my own separate virtual company, and there's just a reach that you can grasp that you can't in person. You have 2 different kinds of businesses, and my dad kind of alluded to this. You've got your physical business and you've got a virtual business. People may judge you and your business before they ever have the opportunity to meet with you physically. So your digital footprint is so important so to have and to be able to partner with a company that specializes in their digital footprint gives us a lot of insight of just how we should operate our own business, how we should look digitally, how we should sound and feel to people before they ever get to meet us in person.
I think right there, a huge factor of that digital footprint, everything, the digital world, the virtual world. I think the pandemic really pushed a lot of people virtually, right? Nowadays, especially, at least something positive came out of that negative, right, guys?
Exactly.
I wish we would have had Cyberbacker in place back then. Because we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to exist virtually. If we would have had this experience then, I think we would have come, and we came out of the pandemic really well, but man, it probably would have been even that much better had we had the experience level of doing it before instead of trying to create it ourselves.
There we go. Now, talking more about cyberbackers and what can cyberbackers do then for any business, guys?
Well, it's not so much what it can do for your business, it's what your business needs. So for going back to kind of how mine and my dad's relationship works with this, he's the numbers guy. He keeps me and the Cyberbacker accountable. But my dad doesn't know what a cyberbacker needs to do. That's not his specialty. It doesn't need to be his specialty. So when I was brought onto the team a year ago and he was thinking, what do we need to do digitally? And that's when the conversation started. We needed to get our ad program running. We needed to get our lead generation model running that we weren't doing. There was a gap. So it's more about looking inside, looking at your business and saying, what do we need? Where is our gap? Why aren't we an option on every website? Why aren't there eyes on us? And that's where Cyberbacker kind of filled that gap. And now people are able to find us on multiple different sectors that they weren't able to a year ago.
Absolutely. But in your business now, how does your cyberbacker help out in the business as right now?
So he started off, he's really transitioned since we first started. When he got on, it was all about running Facebook ads and then following up on those Facebook ads. And if you've been paying attention to marketing in the past year, you realize that Facebook ads have had just a dramatic fall from grace. They are not performing as well as they did a year or 2 years ago. So we've really shifted into a Google Ads program that has just been kicking butt for us. In the past 2 weeks, we've gotten $2 million of listing inventory just from our Google Ads program that we're running. So he does that. He helps us with our social media graphics, and we've given him the title of podcast producer for our podcast. And he sets up all of our appointments. He gets our questions together. He goes through their bios and submits, hey, based off their bio, here's the questions I think you guys should be asking. Posts it for us, edit for us. So he's really become our, if we had to give him a title, our marketing / producer for the Temple team.
So
and no, you cannot have him.
Of course, no one's going to take him away from you guys. Already a great partnership right there. Now, talking about great partnerships. So do you think there's a difference? For example, working with a cyberbacker and working with someone who's in the office. Is there a difference when you build on that partnership, on making those partnerships successful? Is there a difference there?
Of course. Yeah. It's you have to pay attention. When you have somebody physically, they're just there. You always have the opportunity to build that relationship. When it's digital, you have to be purposeful about it. You should be purposeful with your physical relationships, but if you don't schedule time to build relationships with your people that are digital, it will never happen. It won't just show up. So you really have to think about, hey, how am I going to build a relationship with this person so this partnership can outlast even just us working together? How can you actually build a friendship with this person that's on the other side of the world?
Absolutely agree with you there. How about you, Ken? Any thoughts about that? Virtual, non-virtual partnerships. How do you make them successful?
No, I would agree with KT. I think sometimes when we have our personal relationships, we tend to overlook them sometimes because they're always there. You can't do that with that virtual relationship, and you almost have to. To me, you almost have to schedule it into what you're doing to make sure that it happens, so that everybody's on the same page, because you're not right there, elbow to elbow.
Absolutely agree there. How about challenges? Again, I know everyone could agree challenges are part of growth, part of success, right? In a virtual partnership, what could be the challenges that could be there for a business owner that they need to handle through that partnership?
All right. So having clarity in your business, I see people try to hire a cyberbacker and they go, all right, make me money. And I see, and it's not just a virtual, that's any assistant. Sometimes people just hire to hire and they don't actually figure out what that intended purpose is. What is that person's purpose with your team? And that's what you have to look at. And you also have to be able to step back and say, this isn't working. And having clarity around your business and what your goals and objectives are is going to make that partnership work. You can't just hire somebody and automatically fix your problems. You have to find out what those problems are and those solutions, and then give that person a chance to actually succeed. If not, you're just going to set them up for failure.
Yeah, for me, I was talking about personality types, and my holdup is that I like people and to be around people. Another personality type might be somebody that's driven, determined, wants to go fast. They don't want to spend the time to set somebody up. So that's going to be their struggle. And then other people, if you're more like the steady type, well, you're going to want to do everything yourself, and you're not going to empower them to do everything. So I think you have to recognize who you are and overcome your obstacles so that you know how to deal with the person that's going to be on the other end of that virtual world.
Basically, you really have to be ready then before you partner with a cyber, even before you work with any partner, even may it be virtual or not anyway, right? Your systems have to be ready. You yourself have to be ready because, again, this person is going to be relying on you for this partnership to work out too, and vice versa, right?
Yes. Yep.
Like any team owner, you have to be the one that is the one with the vision.
True.
Everyone else is in charge of implementing. And if you don't have vision, everybody will be just rummaging around in the dark.
Absolutely. Great thoughts right there. Now, one last question while I still have you guys here. What's been the biggest impact of virtual leverage in the business so far?
We have different answers, probably.
Yeah.
You go first.
Well, for me, financially, it's been a great benefit. Not having to add other people, systems, and tools, because the cyberbackers kind of filled in for all three. We don't have all the tools we would have. The systems have been improved and don't have to have as many people physically. So for me, that's been the big thing, because I do look on the return on investment on everything that we do.
How about you, KT?
Well, and for me, my job when I was brought onto the team was to enhance our marketing. And I'm good at a lot of things, but implementation's not my strong suit. I'm much better at saying, this is what we need to do. This is the marketing. I'm not going to sit there and make graphics all day long. I'm not going to sit there and make phone calls. I'd much rather just, hop on, go sell a house or teach a class. That's what I like doing. So bringing on Jeff is the only way my role was made possible, by having that guy beside me to say, all right, let's implement this. And without him, and Jeff's my cyberbacker, without him, I wouldn't be able to do the role that I'm commissioned to do.
Yeah. There we go. So already a lot of success in a very short amount of time. We're very excited to seeing, of course, the continued success of this partnership. But before we go, since it's the season of giving, your cyberbackers are going to be able to listen and watch this once we have this online. So would you want to give them a quick shout out or any messages you'd like to give out to them before we end today?
Like, yeah, Jeff, we love you, man. Thanks for saving my butt.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and throw in Jonah, our other cyberbacker for our cyberbacker business, she's amazing. So we're just blessed to be in business with those guys, and looking forward to 2024.
On any given day, I work with 7 cyberbackers, and Jonah and Jeff are my 2 that I work with the most. But the entire team, I can't tell you guys how incredibly grateful I am for all your diligent work. You guys make us look so lazy sometimes, and I'm super thankful to have you guys in our lives.
There we go. We're very excited and looking forward to continued success and growth of this partnership. Kent, KT, thank you very much for being on the show today. I had fun talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.